All right. So today we have a very special guest on my channel. So this man, he started his journey as a young boy who sold firecrackers and pickles in India and has come such a long way by starting two tech-based companies named Webzoli and Testify in Israel.
And
He's often,
one more.
oh,
Sorry,
there's one more. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's news.
I'll
Wait,
share with you in a moment about
oh
this.
my gosh. Okay, that's big news. Okay, and he's often sort of referred to as Israel's tech ambassador to India, introducing the one and only Pratik Thakker, who is Israel's top LinkedIn influencer with I don't know how many. I've lost count of his followers. So Pratik, enlighten us with the number of followers you have. I think the last time I saw it was like 190,000 plus followers, or is it more than that?
Yes, it's 195 or something. Yeah,
Oh
pretty
my
close.
gosh.
We are hopefully by end of this year we are gonna have a family of 200K.
Oh
Uh,
my gosh. That's
so
amazing. Uh,
incredible journey so far, and thank you so much, Revital, for having me here.
of
Uh,
course.
it's always a pleasure to meet somebody from Indian origin, and seeing you being successful. I was in your shoes like 6, 7 years ago when I moved here.
Mhm.
So you are one step ahead in terms of taking actions. I
Oh
took
man.
action in terms of social media and creating podcasts and LinkedIn lives. I think 5 years after I moved to Israel. So you are on the perfect direction, I would say.
Oh
Keep
my gosh. Thank you so much for saying that. I mean, it really means a lot from someone who's actually gone through the journey, who's seen the struggles, who's seen everything, and who's been there. So thank you so much for saying that. And it's amazing to again, like just like you, the feeling is mutual. It's amazing to see a fellow Indian doing so well for himself and for the community. And our audience needs to know about your journey. It's not about Pratik has so many followers and has two and now three coming, like three, the upcoming company. It's about where did he, like, how did he get there? How did he start? What challenges did he face? And it's important to talk about it because it's not about the end product always. It's about the process. So maybe let's travel back in time and let's talk about what was your life like back as a child growing up in a family of entrepreneurs and your years as a young adult.
My father came from Gujarat with just like maybe 5 rupees in his hand. Uh,
Really?
he was a young boy. I think he was like 15 something. So he was actually in boarding school because parents were in Gujarat.
I
So
see.
he's finished his 10th, and then because he didn't have so much money to pursue the further education, so he started working for someone in India.
I see.
It was working with a relative who was owning a business in spice industry.
I see.
So my father learned this industry for 5 years, and then he started on his own. So it was like maybe 40 years ago, 50 years ago, 40 years ago, something like that.
Wow.
So I saw the journey, while I was growing up, and saw my father building his business. I knew that I saw that my father had a cycle in India, which was Atlas cycle. It is very
Yeah.
popular in India. I'm sure you, Revital, you are familiar. And when I was like 2 or 3, since then we have that cycle. My father used to put spices and go to stores around Mumbai. Later I saw him growing, having tempo and having people, and it was growing, right? So
Correct.
I learned it's about planting a seed and then you see your plant growing. It is a
Hmm.
journey. And when you see success, it's not about the end results. As you mentioned, it's all about the journey, how you are enjoying the part of it, right? If you're
Hmm.
not, then possibly you are not, you didn't understand what is success properly.
Hmm.
So yeah, my childhood was very inspiring. Seeing my father, my uncle was also into this business. My father, once he started his business, he brought his brother into the business. So I saw family of entrepreneurs that inspired me a lot. And while I was
Amazing.
growing up, I was very much passionate about tech since childhood. I was reading a lot about Bill Gates. He was richest man in the world that time, and
Mm-hmm.
he inspired me because I felt like only tech industry can make you the richest person in the world. So I wanted to do computer science and study about computers develop. That time I was doing course of I remember CSS. And then HTML and then C++ and all of the old school
Correct.
VB things.
Mm-hmm.
But later I realized when I moved forward to my educational life, uh, I took computer science as a major and I failed even after studying 16 hours a day
Oh my.
because I
Mm-hmm.
feel it was not for me, right? I'm like a born marketer or a salesman, which knows
Mm-hmm.
how to speak, how to convince. I know and understand business side of things very well rather than tech side of things, developing products technically, which requires different skills. So
Mm-hmm.
I realized that from that failure, and I pivoted and I completed my master's in business management. Yeah,
Awesome.
that's the journey. But maybe I'll add some things. One of the things that has helped me become who I am today, it's trying different things throughout the career. My first business was, I think I was around 12. Uh, and it was something that I really wanted to do. And I
Uh-huh.
did it for 3 years continuously in Diwali. And also in Raksha Bandhan, they sell Rakis. I
Rakis.
did that as well. My mother was
Wow.
having a store for imitation jewelries. So we did
Mm-hmm.
that as well. So all of this experience came together, how you speak with the customer, how you actually make profits, how you buy, how
Mm-hmm.
you sell, and all of these aspects came because I was on the journey to learn, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why I was able to build this business that I'm working on right now.
From India to Israel, what was that? How did you end up in the startup nation?
Oh my
Tell us
God,
everything about it.
this is the frequently asked question, but I'll tell you this is a destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Why it's a destiny? Because I never thought firstly I didn't knew that Israel is a place. Okay, when I was growing up, and still if you go to India and when I say I'm in Israel, still
Mm-hmm.
people there are a lot of people who don't know Israel. Uh,
I agree with you. Still,
uh,
even till date.
till date, exactly. I didn't knew. So I was in college. I
Mm-hmm.
was in a different college, and I met a girl named Nancy,
Mm-hmm.
who is my wife today. Uh,
Awesome. Lovely.
she was in different college. I went to college festival in her college, and I met her. And we
Mm-hmm.
started we had an introduction, and we started meeting. It was just friendship then, but I felt some connection and bonding with her.
Mm-hmm.
And one day she actually said that I want to meet you. And then it was a Ghatkopar station, if you remember it.
Ghatkopar. Oh my God. Ghatkopar is the station. Go ahead.
So she called me because I used to live in Ghatkopar, where all of the Gujus live.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
She brought her sister together, and because she
Oh,
was very shy.
I
Uh,
see.
her sister name is Ruby, so she said she really likes you and wants to date with you, and that's how
Oh.
the journey started.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
because I was too shy, right? I'm not
Also, you were shy, and also Nancy was shy.
yeah.
So Ruby played a
Ruby
very
was
important role.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm not sure if Ruby would be here. It would be very difficult for us to open our hearts. So I'm thankful to her.
Thanks, Ruby.
Then still 3 years, I didn't knew because her name is Nancy. I felt like
Correct.
she's Christian maybe, but I really didn't care. And my family is very modern, so I knew that it's fine for me to date any religion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after 3 years, I started a bit understand, like I started understanding what Jewish means and what Judaism means and what is Israel and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
When we were in like our 20s, she was early 20s. She was working
Okay,
in Lal. So that's how she used to travel a lot to Israel for her
I
work.
see. She was working for LL.
Yeah, she was working in
Okay,
Mumbai airport. So
okay,
for training purposes, she used to travel frequently to Israel.
to Israel, yeah.
And that's how, like, she fell in love with Israel. And she said, like, we should, like, pursue our careers in Israel. It's a great
Mm-hmm.
country.
Mm-hmm.
There's an opportunity for you as an entrepreneur to build something that you want. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it made me excited. And
Uh-huh.
without even, like, coming for just like few days, I just directly made Aliyah, which is moving
Wow.
forward.
Wait, let me stop you there just to sort of understand. Because also, I mean, not in just Israel, but in India, family is also very important. I'm sure, like, uh, what was your family's reaction? I want to understand because it's difficult for family for their sons and daughters just in general to stay apart. And if not just like it's not just different cities, it's a different country, it's a different time zone. So what was their reaction?
It was a shock. They were not ready to let me go.
Hmm.
It took me 1 year to convince them.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And more
Okay.
than my family, my relatives were against sending me to Israel because they thought Israel is some other country in Middle East, and they will keep me alive on dates.
Oh my gosh.
That's a
Oh
typical,
my
like, there are a lot of Indians who actually go to countries in Middle East. I don't want to specify the name of the countries,
God.
and there are bad experiences, and they have
I
heard those
understand.
stories that led them think that I will feel the same. So
Hmm.
that was a big no because of that specific reason. And,
Interesting.
when they see me now, like it took look, I firstly trusted Nancy's judgment, and also Nancy's father played very important role in terms of, like, making sure we settle very good here.
I
uh,
see.
so yeah, I'm thankful to all of the people who supported me in the journey. But there's one man standing with me that made it possible, and it was my father. My father said one thing to everyone who was against sending me here is that if he said, like, if I would have come from Gujarat to Mumbai, I wouldn't have successful business that I'm having today. And
Hmm.
if he wants to go somewhere to pursue his dream, let him go. So
Wow.
this actually, like, helped me convince my mom. My mom was just like, because I am a eldest son in the house and the most loving one. I'm sorry for
Don't worry, like there's always a favorite child, and in my family it's me.
uh,
So I feel you.
my mom was like a bit emotional on that side, but
Mhm.
eventually she agreed, and I was here. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I think it's so important to have supportive family members because I mean, touch wood, like in my family, they've always been supportive, but I've heard stories of like from my friends and now from you. There are obviously like some family members who are against it. And then there's just one or two people from your family who are like really strong and they're like, just like, go for it. We are here if anything happens. Just like, don't look back. So I think
The
it's cool.
important part, no matter what you do in life, right? People
Hmm.
always hear your failures.
True.
And how I was growing up in my family, my parents told me to make mistakes. My father, that's called daring, do something without fear. Worst case,
Hmm.
you will fall and you get up and walk again. That was the
Right.
mindset I grew up in, especially seeing my father, and he always, like, gave me that small teachings every day.
Hmm.
Actually helped me take risks in my life. That made me successful, I would say.
That's amazing. Okay, so tell me about because I was reading about you and but I want to hear it from you. I know for a fact that like your first day in Israel, you said it was a disaster and you felt like super overwhelmed and homesick, and you landed up in an emergency room followed by an anxiety attack.
Yes, the first day was the toughest day in my life. I still remember. I landed in like Ben Gurion Airport, and it was a summer war in 2014. Three children were kidnapped.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not sure if you remember those times, but there were a lot of sirens and like a lot of bombings happening. And I landed with a siren, and there was a bomb near Ben Gurion Airport, and we had to rush to an safety room, everyone at the airport.
Right.
So that was the first experience landing in Israel. Okay, I was terrified. What's happening? Where am I? Like, am I at war zone?
Yeah.
So that was my first experience. Now I'm coming from busiest city in the world, Mumbai. Now, my ulpan was in Jerusalem, one of the emptiest in the world. For me, especially.
I would say, I think it's just very like, it has a calmer vibe than Tel Aviv, I would say. It's not empty, it's just like very quiet, especially on the weekends.
Look,
I guess.
But especially, Revital, you're from Mumbai.
I agree with you.
Mumbai, you feel it's a curfew.
I agree with you. That I agree with you, especially when you come from Mumbai to Israel in general. It's very quiet. It's just very quiet. Yes.
But now I'm used to it, right? I love this. Yeah. Now I can go to Mumbai. This happened because, like, why I was rushed to an emergency room. One of the reason was like feeling homesick, terrified, a new country. And beginnings are always difficult, but one of the things that I never shared to the world, but I'll share it today. So my first, like from first to fourth, I was in boarding school.
Okay.
And because I was very mischief child, and I made my parents crazy, so they decided to put me in boarding school for 4 years.
Wow, you don't look like you were mischievous at all. Okay, go ahead.
Trust me, I am. So this memory, like, every evening when the sun sets, I used to go to the gate of the boarding school, and I used to like do this and cry because I wanted to go home. I felt like a child. Okay.
Oh man.
So similarly, when I'm landed in Israel, as soon as like sun sets, I was like, I felt the same vibes. It was psychological. I feel I'm away from family. I'm somewhere that I'm not comfortable. So it took me 2 years to fight this fear. And sometimes, your childhood memories affect you in a good way and in a bad way.
I agree.
So that was the reason I feel that happened. But I think one thing happened very good for me in my life. Because I came to Israel, I was able to fight those fears, and I don't have those fears anymore. And I'm stronger than ever before because, of course, the support from my wife, but the situation, like, you get adjusted to the situation if you don't give up, right? I wanted to go back to India first week. I just literally asked my parents and in-laws to book ticket back home. I don't want to stay here anymore. That was the thing. But I'll share more stories while we are moving forward, why I continued my journey here.
I feel like I can recollect my own journey when I came here. Like, I'm Jewish, like, yeah, whatever, but I am still Indian. I'm born and brought up in India. Like, we have a way of living that's very different and also very similar. So I resonate with it. So now you're in Israel. Israel is not for everybody, and it has a lot of challenges. So what were your challenges of living in Israel in general?
For me, I was like, crazy about like, just running after success. So for me, like challenges for society, language, and other things, I really didn't care about that. Okay, I said I'll figure it out because making money was not my concern. My concern was missing family. For me, I grew up in like a joint family, which is like a big family in India. Usually that's how it works. It's a cultural thing to do in India, but being independent, doing everything on your own, you don't have your mother to go to in the night and talk. How was your day? And like, she kind of like, giving you small teachings every day based on your experience you had, and all of those things were missed. So that was like, something challenging for me.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like, other challenges, Israel is a tough country, as you mentioned, to be successful in, because again, a lot of barriers, right? And for me specifically, I was not Jewish, and I'm here today. But there's one thing: people loved me still. I was not Jewish. People gave me opportunity. Still, I'm not Jewish. There were a lot of people in Ulpan while I made Aliyah with
Mm-hmm.
me
Mm-hmm.
who were Jewish from India. We were in the same flight. I was the first one to get job. I was the first one to get promotion. I grew significantly, even though regardless of my religion. So yeah, when people say that Israel is like racist and biased, I don't fully agree on the terms here.
I think they need to experience Israel like completely, and it's just not about like coming on Taglit or coming on a tourist visa. You need to live here for at least like maybe like a year or so to understand the culture, and because it's so international, there's again to specify, it's just not racist, just very curious people. They like to ask questions, and it might come across as, oh, they're racist, but they just have a way of speaking, and they have absolutely no filter, and they people don't understand that,
Yeah.
you
I
know.
love I love the show that Yoel is doing. Yoel is one of our good friend. Revital is also working with Yoel, and he has a show called Israel Unfiltered, and that's actual Israel and Israelis. They don't try to portray something which they're not, and they say it's something direct. So
Mhm.
sometimes people find it offensive, but if you live here, you will understand that they mean good, and they actually genuinely care about what they are saying and not faking it. Uh,
Correct.
but people in the West or in India, we love things to be sugar coated.
I
Uh,
absolutely agree. Oh my gosh, there's so
so
much sugar coating, and there's so much taking what do you say, taking consideration about the person's feelings and how they will feel. Oh my gosh, I don't think I can go back to that anymore. I'm just like so straightforward now. It feels good, and it's like
you have to be like, when you're straightforward, you feel that you are yourself. You're not something that you're trying to know, trying to be something that you're not. Uh,
correct, correct.
which is something that Israel teaches you.
That's awesome. I completely agree with you. So moving on, what are the similarities? Because as different as Israel and India are, there are a few similarities. So for you, what are those similarities in terms of culture, maybe also like professionally, how people are?
I feel warmth when I meet people. They are genuinely like, willing to help. In India, if you go, the culturally people are welcoming. There's a saying in India, "Atithi Devo Bhava." It's a Sanskrit term which means guests are God. And Israelis, when they invite you to their place, they specifically invite you for Shabbat. They genuinely take care of you so good, with amazing food they make, a lot of conversation, and it's a fun thing to do while you're here. But the thing is, it's family oriented, right? That's what I love about Israel. Uh, the other similarity I feel, we share a lot of similar culture
Hmm.
in terms of like, our neighbors, challenges we have politically. I won't go into that specifics of
Hmm.
politics or religion, but yeah, we share like, security threats, and we understand what it takes. We are both peace loving nations, I feel, and we always fight for that, even in India, and now I see in Israel.
Hmm.
But there's one thing which makes Israel a bit ahead uh, in terms of like culturally, which I love the most is taking a break. Okay, Shabbat.
Yes.
Uh, I absolutely love it. Uh, we know how to disconnect from the hustle and bustle that we are on,
Mm-hmm.
and actually take a deep breath and spend time with your loved ones and enjoy the journey rather than like just like, if you are on a day off on in India, you're basically like kind of not having that kind of family time or fun time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I love about Israel.
Wow, Shabbat. It took me so much time to like tell myself that it's okay to give a break. Really, it took me like good 6, 7 months because I was like, what am I doing on the weekend? Like, I need to be doing something. And then I realized that that's your time. You can do whatever. And the fact that because everybody's doing it, it's easy to do it.
Easy to do it. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So, yeah, that's cool. Okay, so why don't you tell us about how you started your two companies and now an upcoming one? It's really exciting to know.
So firstly, always the mindset was to be an entrepreneur and start
Mm-hmm.
something on our own, because the biggest success can be achieved through business. It's like a seed that you sow and it will like give fruits forever.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, having that freedom that you want long term. So while I was working here, I knew that you need to learn first in order to like, start your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, classic example of my father. He started working for someone, learned, and started on his own.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked for companies. I mastered digital marketing. Digital marketing was very buzzword initially. 10 years ago, if you heard digital marketing, it was PPC probably. And
I didn't even know about it. I think I was 10 years ago. What was I doing? I was studying pharmacy.
like how AI is buzzword right now,
Okay, so
it's
that was like
similar
digital
to
marketing.
digital marketing, and people didn't knew about it. People were using online marketing and like PPC or Google Ads and blah blah blah. Okay, there was no
I
marketing
see.
automation so much those days.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I was very passionate about like automating things and digital side of the marketing. So yeah, I worked for a few companies and again improved my skills at that front. And parallelly, I was getting clients to build websites and like do campaigns for them. So I was
Mm-hmm.
side hustling. So 9 to 5 was my job, and then later and also on the weekends I used to work on the side hustle. After a
Mm-hmm.
few years, I was making more money than in my job. So
Mm-hmm.
I finally decided to quit. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
quit the job. Then, on top of it, I gave up my lease on my apartment, sold everything, and went back to India.
Oh, didn't know that. Okay, that's new
Yeah, this is the
information.
first time I'm sharing probably on podcast.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
I
Okay.
went to India for 4 months. uh, I didn't knew that how much time it will be in India. So to like set up an office and like set up everything that I wanted in like outsourcing firm.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks to my siblings who helped me like start everything from scratch in India. We set up an
Mm-hmm.
office. We hired people to help us with this. And but I realized that India is not for me anymore, because I'm used to life here now. And then I decided to come back after 4 months. Uh,
Fair enough. Fair
uh,
enough.
and but
Okay.
the good thing happened for the with that specific decision was that my company was formed, which was Webzoli. Uh,
Oh, so you formed it when you were in India, was it?
yeah, so it was working because I had a side hustle already, like freelancing and on the side. So I had clients already when I started the company, and
I
I
see.
was like also having people who were working with me, but I didn't have an official company. I didn't have an official place to work for. So yeah, we made it everything official, private limited company, and yeah, that was the start of the journey. It
That's
took a lot
awesome.
of challenges. It was not an easy decision to leave the country. Yeah, trust me, one of the toughest time in last 10 years, that specific period. But when
I'm
I
sure.
think, when I think now, I feel so thankful that I did that. Uh, yeah, along the journey, we worked with so many companies to help them, like, market in India, also, like, set up their outsourcing team in India. So
Mm-hmm.
not just working with Israeli companies, but also global companies hire remote talent in India.
Mm-hmm.
We also not just are limited to India anymore. We have employees in Philippines,
That's
Vietnam,
amazing.
and also some in Ukraine, but they are now in like Eastern Europe. But yes, that was like, goal to expand.
That's
Uh,
amazing.
yeah, and later I founded like Teslify with one of my co-founders, is like talent assessment platform.
Okay.
Being into service-based business, for me, product is more attractive and scale.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I went into that industry. Again, both of these companies are something that being managed by my team now. I'm not more involved. One of the things that I am involved right now is Insidia. Insidia is like bringing your ideas into reality. Basically, Revital imagines of like, starting a company, she would need resources, right? So
Mm-hmm.
basically, my team across the globe can help her achieve her goals, whether it may be
Mm-hmm.
website, marketing, sales, whatever you think of, right? We can do it for you. So we are on a mission to unlocking your ideas and unlocking
Mm-hmm.
your freedom on both direction, right? Employers and employee. Traditional, like, job market or marketplace helps you get a freelance job, but it's not sustainable on employee side, because there is a risk. They don't know whether they will have project next month. But if you're
Correct.
a full-time employee remotely, you have job security. That's how you get top 1% of talent on LinkedIn.
Oh, I
So
see.
that's why Insidia was born. And we will be launching marketplace by end of 2023. Currently, it's more of like an agency model where we are bringing first 500 companies to work with us. And once we have enough companies, we will launch the product.
That's amazing. Oh my God. Congratulations on this new
Thank,
venture. I really wish you all the best. I'm sure you're going to kill this one too.
thank you.
I'm really excited to see like what Insidia has to offer.
There is a
Sorry.
story that I want to send why actually I created Insidia. I brought this domain 7 years ago.
Oh, I
It
see.
was a premium domain, and I negotiated for 3 months to get it. But why I did that, I had to leave my family and come to Israel in search of career growth. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anybody in India or anywhere in the world to go and leave their family for career. They can work from anywhere in the world and make as much money they would make moving abroad.
I see.
That's the whole mission and idea and pain point that I was specifically facing, that I don't want
Mm-hmm.
anybody to face in India or anywhere in the world. And that's why I'm very much passionate about, like, remote working and having basically a borderless world where you can work for any company in the world.
That is such a lovely intention. I never thought of it that way, but it's lovely to know. Thank you for sharing that. I think I really got like a new perspective because I also work remotely. Before this, I used to work from office 5 days a week, and it was extremely annoying.
Yeah.
With external factors like the Tel Aviv traffic and the commute time and all of
Been
that.
through
You
your
save on
shoes.
so much.
Yes. I've been.
And I'm sure like you understand. And, especially when you work remotely, yes, you have time with your family. And for me specifically, I have enough time to also do my side hustle, which is why I'm able to do this with you right now. So
Yeah.
I think this is great. I think I wish you all the best once again.
Thank you, Ravita.
Um, you're welcome. Now, where do you see yourself, let's say in the next, I think 10 years would be way too much, but let's say 5 years with your three companies, your personal life and like professionally, like where do you see yourself?
Globally, people fear recession and there are a lot of layoffs, but I'm hiring. Uh, And my mission is to create 100,000 jobs in next 5 years in India,
That's amazing.
and help global companies hire remote talent. They really deserve a great exposure globally, because genuinely, like, Indian education system is really good, and they have really good work ethics. And it's limited, like, local companies in India, because of higher population, not everyone is getting opportunities. And there are a lot of housewives who get married even after being an engineer. They have kids and they're stuck. I have so
Correct.
many examples working in my company right now
Mhm.
that literally say that it has changed my life, because they are able to work remotely and they are able to have 4 hours a day work life. So they're working part time,
Mhm.
but they're still making a living and they're happy. And this is the kind of impact I want to bring in next 5 years.
That's amazing. I think not everybody thinks about financial independence for women. I mean, women think for themselves, but it's nice to finally see some men think about financial independence for men. So I think it's amazing. I'm impressed.
Thanks.
And
Also, like, it's a big pain point in India, right? If you've been to India, you lived in India, you know how
sure.
it is. So that's why my co-founder is a woman, and she was passionate about this thing specifically. Like, when the reason we actually connected and had that kind of connection to build a company together. Her name is Nupur Jain, uh,
Okay.
based out of Delhi. So she is helping me scale in India. She's expert in HR, vice president of HR in Exigo, which is one of the top travel portal in India. So yeah,
Okay.
that's how uh, we are on a journey to impact a lot of lives.
Wow. I can absolutely see that 5 year journey. I can see it happening. Wow. It's amazing. Okay, so to make this a little more fun and interesting, we're going to play a rapid fire. Okay, so the first game is basically like a word association.
Mhm.
So when I say a word, okay, so basically the first thing that comes to your mind when I say the following, okay, and it has to be quick because it's
Okay,
rapid fire. Okay,
try.
okay, let's start. Hummus.
Hummus, yummy. I love.
Okay, India-Israel relationship.
Oh my God, sky high.
Amazing. The right answer. LinkedIn.
Oh, story of my life.
That's amazing. Tel Aviv.
Oh, oh my God, close to my heart.
Israeli tech industry.
Booming.
Chutzpah.
It took me a while to understand this.
And last but not the least, Pratik Thakker.
Legend.
Oh my gosh, that was like boom. Love it.
Why I said legend? Because there's one thing that I learned being on journey on LinkedIn. If you're not your biggest fan, why would you think that others people will be? So
Absolutely. Giving some gyan. Absolutely love it. All right. Now the next one is what do you say? It's basically I ask you something and it has to be an answer which is top of mind and there has to be some explanation to it. Okay. Your favorite Hebrew word and why?
Toda Rabba. Because I feel gratitude is the best attitude, and I use it a lot. Although I'm not so good at Hebrew,
Mhm.
but I feel when I do this and I say Toda Rabba, people genuinely in Israel. I started this from day one, right? And I still use a lot of time. Like when I say thank you to someone genuinely, they feel so connected and they feel that I'm very genuine.
I love the fact that you mix like saying thank you the Indian Israeli way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's cool. Okay. The next one is your favorite Israeli street food
Falafel.
and why?
Because I'm obsessed with falafel, because it reminds me of an Indian dish called vada pav or bhajia pav, which is a Mumbai dish, very popular there. So yeah, it reminds me of that.
Okay. That's cool. Okay. Your favorite Indian restaurant in Israel.
None.
Oh my gosh. I was hoping you would say that, but I wasn't sure. But I
because
love the fact that you're honest about it.
I tried, and it's good. Okay, honestly, it's good for Israelis, but it's not good for Indians. But there's one place that makes me more like, fun atmosphere, and it is kind of cool and quirky, which is Dosa Bar in Tel Aviv.
Mm-hmm.
They have different approach towards South Indian food, and it's quite nice ambience. And you just have a beer and have dosa. It's
Yeah.
not, yeah, it's not tasty as like you would get in Mumbai or India,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. I think you should also try the dosa in Mapao. They're really good masala dosa. I mean, if you haven't, because Mapao is not popular for dosa, but
Yeah,
they have a dosa which is really good. You should definitely try.
100% I will.
Okay, last and final question, which is a tough one, but let's say this is like an imaginary question. Okay, WebZoli, Teslify, or Insidia? All
Inside
right,
it.
Insidia. Wait! I didn't finish my question. If you had to pick one for the rest of your life,
Inside, yeah.
okay,
I
and
can
why?
I can tattoo it on my whole body.
Why so? Give us a reason.
Because I always believed while growing up, bringing your ideas into reality takes a lot of courage, action, planning. And this name is so strategic for me. I actually like wanted this domain so badly. You have no idea how much I negotiated for this. It was costing $10,000,
Oh my
and
gosh.
I was not making that much, and I didn't have so much savings while I moved here. So I negotiated, and finally I got it for $750.
What? That's insane.
I'm
I
good at
think this deserves another video just on how you did it.
it. Was like pure negotiation based on emotions and why I wanted to do this. And the person who sold it to me actually felt that I am like on a mission to create something meaningful for the society, and which will create a lot of jobs in the future. And that's why he made this decision to give it to me. But Insidia is my life's mission, and I feel it will be next Google or Facebook or Apple or anything.
Yeah, I wish you all the best. I love the fact that you think of it that way. And all my good luck and wishes with you. And with this, we have come to the end of this video. I think this was such a candid conversation. I love the fact that you opened your heart and you spoke about your struggles and your mission. And, not everybody is comfortable sharing about it. And I'm glad you did it. And if you want to find Pratik and connect with him, I'm going to add his LinkedIn profile to my description. If you also want to connect with him on Instagram or any other channels, Pratik, do mention. I will add it to the description box. You can go say hi, leave him a nice message. You should see his LinkedIn profile. Every day is something to learn. So you should definitely follow him.
Thank you so much, Ravital, for making this happen. And I really thank everyone who's listening. It's a journey that everyone, like, sometimes have failures, everyone has success, but at the end of the day we are humans, and we should enjoy the part of the journey that we are having. Like, life is a journey, right? It took me a while to understand this, but
Better
but
late than never.
yes, exactly.